brought to you by Sprite. It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with the legendary Shaquille O'Neal. This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Our featured matchup tonight in Chicago, where the Bulls will be going up against the Brooklyn Nets. And taking a look here at the Nets. 5-5 over their last 10 games, but they're not satisfied with 500 ball. Looking to tack one onto the win tally tonight. Okay, the Brooklyn Nets have a lot of experience, obviously, Shaq, but when does experience just become, well, they're old?
Well, they're good, Ernie, but I don't think they can go all the way. They have too many holes on their rosters, and they only have 1 or 2 years before they get too old.
What do you consider yourself, experienced or old?
Legendary.
Oh, excellent point, but that wasn't one of the options. Here's Kevin Harlan.
I made it an option.
We're in the place they call the United Center in Chicago, the home of the Bulls, where today we'll be broadcasting live. There's no better time of year than the holidays for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Welcome, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan courtside with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. The Bulls happy to return to Chicago after the road trip. These guys are hot, no doubt about it, continuing to put up win after win.
Kevin, their offense is really ramped up. I mean, the ball movement is crisp. The shot selection is outstanding, and guys are playing with freedom and confidence that you love to see in a high-octane offense.
Yeah, they have had some fireworks there lately. I mean, this is a team that is fun to watch, and they are really clicking at the offensive end.
Here are the starters for Brooklyn. Down low, Kevin Garnett and Brook Lopez. Jaren Williams and Joe Johnson at the 1 and 2. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 3.
Well, with Derrick Rose out of commission last season, the Bulls again look to run their offense through Joakim Noah in the high post. He assisted on almost 25% of their made baskets when he was on the floor.
Bogdanovich, no luck. Now Chicago's gone 2 of 2 from three-point range here in the first quarter. It's Noah with the drive. Here's Mirotic. Plays it in without an inch of room around him.
They've had the hotter hand in the first half so far, no question.
Yeah, it's because of all the high percentage shots they've been working for and getting.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
I got to find something, you're right. Bogdanovich passes to Williams. Some solid defense from Rose.
Still looking for that first bucket here to start the game.
Granger dishes to Rose. Back to Granger. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Stauskas, and again it's the Bulls from deep.
And the shots continue to fall as they try to put this thing away.
Yeah, big run here, and they've got their opponents in the rearview mirror.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Sacramento.
They didn't exactly roll over. They had a good chance to win in that game. It just didn't come together for them at the right time.
Hey, the all-around effort was very solid, but they're not interested in moral victories. A loss is a loss.
Lopez kicks to Williams. The dish now to Garnett. Back to Williams. Pass to Johnson. Lopez sets a screen for Johnson. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. Well, Joe Johnson, a 14-year veteran. Most of our fans remember him back in Phoenix, probably the 4th best player on that team. Steve, just go back to that time. I mean, just scary.
Well, if the Suns could have kept him, you think about what might have been. That was a team that came very close for 4 or 5 years to being a championship team, but never got to the finals. So Johnson moved on to Atlanta, where he became an all-star. And you always wonder what might have been in Phoenix.
So he comes up empty, missing both.
And Joe Johnson in his second season in Atlanta averaging 25 a game, but that was 8 years ago. Last season, around 16 a game.
It has taken them no time to build this lead up on the strength of a great first quarter offensively.
And they need to continue to put pressure on the defense and try to really run away with this one from here.
Here's Bogdanovich after Danny Granger's bucket. On the wing, Johnson, and out of bounds is Chicago gains possession.
And age starting to show for Johnson. Below average player efficiency rating in the last 2 seasons. But he's still owed $48 million over this season and next.
Now here's Rose. Jacks up a 3. Stauskas with the bucket. Stauskas has got 6 points.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's keyed this run, Clark, because they're keeping the ball moving. Defense hasn't been able to set up.
Here's Williams. He's coming off a 10-point game against Sacramento. Lopez, a screen on Rose. And Williams, here we go. No good again that time.
Well, I hope they start getting warmed up here soon. That's 0 for 4 to this point.
Here's Rose. Pass to Stauskas. The feed now to Granger. On its way from Rose for 2. And the Bulls tack on 2 more.
They've got themselves in front with some outstanding shooting right off the bat.
Yep, it's been a clinic at that end of the floor, no question.
With this break, a look at our 2K leaderboard and the top passing centers and power forwards over the course of the past 10 games. You look at Mirotic, an uncommonly gifted passer, leading the league in assists. And, of course, Chris Anderson. Nets trailed by 18. Williams passes to Johnson. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Joe Johnson is also sometimes called ISO Joe because of his ability to produce buckets going one-on-one. There's nobody better in that situation in terms of creating a shot with ease and never shying away from the big moment.
And he knocks down the first one.
And you talk about Johnson's ability to get his shot off. 6'7", huge frame for a 2-guard. And with his ball handling ability, he can really create space for himself.
And both free throws good for Johnson. And Johnson's so smooth, Clark, but you know, Joe, his size and strength, sometimes it seems like he could do more to press the issue and foul.
Well, you know, I'm not going to be overly critical. This guy is terrific as a one-on-one isolation player. He used to average over 5 free throws a game, but that number has declined. But that may be more a function of him maturing in his career and picking his spots to be aggressive and not wanting to draw contact.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Noah drives in. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Noah's got his first 2 points of the night.
This team is buzzing right now. They've yet to miss.
Williams against Rose. Williams can't get it to go.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
And out of bounds as Brooklyn gains possession.
Let's see the stat sheet here on Deron Williams. His last month of basketball has been fantastic. 5th in assists. And he's in the top 10 in steals per game as well. So this is a guy who you have to be aware of when you've got the ball in your hands.
And, you know, we'd be remiss not to say a word about his outstanding assist ranking. Come on now. I mean, this guy is one of the top assist men in the game and doing it with flair and fundamental soundness. That's special.
3-pointer, Granger, and that one's good. Granger's got 8 points.
They're setting the tone early here, Kevin.
Nets trail by 21. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Earlier, I spoke with Coach Lionel Hollins. Though they haven't won in their first 2 meetings this year, Coach said he expects a different story this time around with a new offensive approach. He said that he wants them to attack more and not worry so much about finding the perfect shot. Really just simplify things for them. Let's see if that approach can take the season series to 1 and 2, guys.
Thanks a lot, Doris. As we might have guessed, their offensive strategy playing heavily into their approach here, guys.
Well, that's kind of their identity as a team. This is a club that likes to score, that likes to really move the ball and execute. And that's how they're able to win games.
But if that's their main focus, Steve, they need to get it going right away. If they don't get into a good rhythm early, then things could start to fall apart.
And here is Williams. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Lopez sets a screen for Johnson. And just miss after miss right now. Steve, they are in complete control.
Well, everything they're doing, Kevin, has been working out. I mean, the game plan was solid, and they are executing out there.
Rose gets a wide open look. It's rebounded by Kevin Garnett.
Boy, that was way behind the line. Now, he can make that at times.
He certainly is one of the guys that can actually do it from there.
Williams attacking. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him.
It's easy to see why this team is losing. I mean, he's literally missed every shot he's put up today.
Rose, good.
The defense has done very little to slow him down so far.
Brooklyn with the ball. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Johnson with a screen on Rose. Williams dishes to Garnett. Williams can't get it to go.
The Chicago Bulls consistently one of the best defensive teams in basketball. Coach Tom Thibodeau is an innovator on that side of the floor and great motivator as well. He's done an amazing job.
Noah kicks to Rose. Granger inside the line. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got 4 assists now tonight. Now Williams. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Kicks to Lopez. Back to Williams. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. Bulls center Joakim Noah, winning Defensive Player of the Year last season. Well-deserved. A big factor for him inside.
And, you know, Kevin, you can make a case with the talent they have, arguably being the premier defensive front line in the NBA.
Agreed. Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Anderson, he's checked in for Noah. Dunleavy comes in for Mirotic. McLemore's checked in for Stauskas. And it's Heinrich in for Derrick Rose.
They're playing with a purpose, guys. The big lead becoming bigger. I like the look in their eyes.
And it's on both ends that they've been controlling the action.
Now here is Jack. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Sacramento. They need this one. Anderson outside. And another shot. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, one of the things the Nets did last year that was pretty impressive, they found value in a number of players who had been overlooked by other teams in the league.
With the Nets, they did make strong role players out of guys that Steve didn't seem to be on anyone's radar.
Well, it gave them a lot of flexibility over the summer in terms of what they wanted to do personnel-wise. You can never discount how much that can shape the future of a franchise.
Both free throws good from Anderson.
Guys, this is the second season since the league returned to a 2-2-1-1-1 finals format. It was a unanimous decision at the time, and I haven't sensed any regrets. The feeling was, and continues to be, that the top seed deserves to have Game 5 at home.
Now here is Jack, averaging 10 points per contest. Kirilenko against Anderson. So it's Brooklyn now. And now with Clark, every NBA team flying charter flights, travel much less of a concern with that 2-2-1-1-1 format.
Yeah, and I like that. I like the fact we went back to that. It makes a lot of sense in this day and age, and you don't give an advantage or disadvantage to either team. So very good to go back to that. And with the league showing a willingness to increase travel a little bit for the good of the game, it makes you wonder if you'll see a top 16 interconference playoffs. Again, I've already voiced I'm not in favor of that, but I think it's something that has been discussed at least a little bit.
And both free throws good for Anderson.
Talk about a come-from-behind story. The Nets were at the bottom of the Eastern Conference before the calendar turned to 2014, but they slowly climbed their way back up the ladder and ended up having an excellent season.
And Dunleavy gets it to go in.
Huge advantage for them already.
And as well as they've played at both ends so far, this lead might continue to grow.
And here comes Jack. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Anderson, a screen on Heinrich. pass to Bogdanovich. Launches a three. Can't get it to go. And Chicago will go the other way with the ball. The Nets would end with a .500 record against the rest of the East, and that may not seem impressive, but Clark, in context, it means a lot.
Yeah, you know, there was talk early on, Kevin, during the season last year, that even if they would make the playoffs, they kind of stumbled out of the gate, and then Lopez goes down. But, you know, you got to give that team credit and the staff. I mean, they got the ship turned around, and they fought back when they needed to and acquitted themselves well.
Shot clock at 6. And here's Anderson for 3. Rebound by the Bulls. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
It was an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it was on the road. No question, by the way, that it was their offense that carried them.
Steve, I love the way they attacked at every opportunity. They never were on their heels, and eventually that allowed them to pull away.
And again, no good by Brooklyn.
You know, a team's rebounding is one of the great measures of its energy, and theirs has been terrific in the first quarter.
Yep, they were ready to go right from the opening tip. And that's what's built them this early lead. Deadly shooting from behind the arc.
Yeah, the D better start getting out there on them, Steve, and soon.
Jack passes to Anderson. Feeds to Plumlee. Now the pass to Bogdanovich. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
That's his second personal foul.
This is his first trip to the line tonight. And the first one drops. And the Bulls making a change here. Second free throw, no good. Here's Heinrich. No luck. And the buzzer sounds to end the first, and we've got a blowout underway here. It's Chicago running away with it. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter.